Hi folks, snow scenes again for you. I'll try to make this as simple as possible. I've given this a bit of a wet, so I'm going to go over it with some, when I've stretched it. Ooh. Okay, so I get my palette. So a nice bit of raw sienna. That's gone a bit stronger than I meant, but it doesn't matter. All sunlight on the snow. Now, we haven't got any snow in London, we're not likely to get any. If we do, it'll probably be in February sometime. But I hope I don't have to eat my words. That's right, a bit of burnt sienna in there, because I like to get some nice warm colour behind those trees. I might or might not put on the painting. I've been going quite high over there, but I'm just sort of preparing for the future. So if I put some nice trees there, that will show. Hopefully that will show as a bit of a sunlight coming across. Right, now my clouds, just a bit of light red. I don't put a lot of that out. It last rages because it's so strong. It's the strongest colour on the palette. Right. Oh, I've got a bit more strength in there. Strengthen on her. And then we'll and I'll keep my clouds away from the right hand side. Don't want too heavy there. But this is where we're going to go a bit strong. Go over that a bit heavier. Okay, I'll give that a dry now, and I've got my cup of tea here, so right, hairdryer. I've had a bit of a change round. Sorry, I'm just updating my security. Well, I don't want it too dry. Sorry, I didn't give you much warning there. I'll continue with the hake, so I'm going to use the medium hake now. And I want to put in some background over that, and hopefully it might just show a little bit of spread, you know, a bit of washes out. So I'm using a bit of Payne's Grey with blue. Let's just dab some in. Yeah, that's all right. Apart from that hair that's sticking out the end. I'll try and keep the background a little bit hilly. Don't want it straight. Well, that'll do for there. See where it's merging with the wet, the damp paper, which is what I wanted. as the paper dries we can do harder edge. That's quite dry there. Right, I can just put some clean water on the brush. Just soften around there. Now I need a bit of cloth. A bit of dry, clean cloth. I'll take the okay. Yes. I'll put some heavier stuff over that when we get around to it. Let's just get that a little bit dragged down there into some wet. Right, okay. I'm going to dry that now. So take your headphones off or mute your sound or fast forward because I'm not going to stop the video. If I stop the video, I have to start. It starts a new video when I unpause it, and I just haven't the time to keep editing. This is the £90 Saunders Waterford. I know my colleagues are using it now. It's a beautiful paper. It's only £90 weight, but my word, it stays more or less perfectly flat. It dry brushes beautifully. It soaks up a lot of water too. Now I'm just finishing my tea. Now I want to put in some bits and pieces before I start thinking about big trees and the shape of the land. This is how nice that sky's gone. As I haven't dried it completely yet, it's still merging, still blending. That's the word, blending. And we've got the sun coming from, or the light coming from that side. I quite like that, and a little bit of light showing through there. These sort of skies are always hit and miss, but as you can see how easy they are to do. But I always paint wet in wet, or to start off in wet in wet. Now the paper's drying, we don't need so much of it. But in the beginning, for these clouds with these soft edges, wet in wet. And I wet the whole paper. Otherwise, you'll find that the top starts to buckle while the bottom stays flat, the unwet bits. So be careful of that. Okay, now we want to put in some bits of green, bits of stuff on the background. So let's use a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey. That's why my burnt sienna gets mucky. We want a little bit of that. Put a bit of blue in that as well, I think. These all turn out different. A little bit of blue back in there. Alright, so there's a bit of background in there, and we can just put a bit of blue in front of that. I'll put some shadows in the snow. Quite like that. Alright, okay, now make sure your brush is very clean for this. So a little bit of grey, bit of blue, very faint. Wet the brush, clean water or cleanish water. Just touch the top of that. I'm just softening it so that it drags up a little bit. Okay, I'll give that all a dry now. So take your headphones off. Ready, go. Right, now where should we go? Well, we'll start to put a bit of detail in this, bit of warmer detail. So a bit of burnt, let's have a bit of burnt umber, and a bit of touch of Payne's grey in there, a bit of burnt sienna as well. Now this is the top of the snows, and we'll put some stuff just showing through. I'll have to probably use a rigger with some of this because the brush doesn't sort of, being a sort of square edged, or it's difficult to do this and push stuff up, so I'll just do the stuff here. It's just showing the direction of well, I think I'll use a rigger. And there's plenty of water when you're working on rough paper. Otherwise, the brush just scoots across the top of the lumps. So if you put these sort of things in, you can show heavier shadows. Oh, just take them up a little bit, just in the heel of the brush as well. Okay, well we don't want to overdo that. So now, because I'm putting darks on there, I'll put a few in there. Because I'm putting darks on, it's making the light lighter. It has that effect. Right, okay, now we want to put some good trees in there. I'm going to use the large hake for this. Just take the moisture off and we'll have a bit of burnt umber and a bit of blue. Go away, I'm not in. Look, I'm just mixing up a grey, tree grey I call it, blue and umber. And then we can just have a maybe the small hake would be better for this. I'll just put in the basics of in this tree. I will use a rigger. And one going out. I might put some white gouache on some of this. Now try not to repeat yourself too often. Oh, that's one. We'll put a smaller one. Let's have one here. I'll put a few leaves on these. Right, we'll have to balance that with something on the other side. So let's have one further over, a bit bluer. Have one here. Right, just a bit of this and a bit of that. So here we've got a few little trees. And by the time I've got shadows and a few leaves on this, so that I'll try that, but yeah, I will. But just take a little bit of the water from the bottom of that. Oh, where's my cloth? I've lost my cloth. I've got plenty of them. Let's take a little bit of okay, so we've got a little bit of light on there. Right, I'm going to dry it so that I can then just plonk on a few leaves around the periphery of it. So headphones off, go. Now I'm going to mix up some loose colour, some burnt umber, burnt surf, this, that and the other, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and I'm going to use this very cheap brush. Alright, let's get some good dark, some sienna. Oh, let's try a bit of sienna and ultramarine. So just a few dotted around. Just a few leaves left on the tree, and a bit more on the other side. I might put in a few more twigs on the end of these branches. I start a sentence and I get carried away and I forget what I'm talking about. Oh, we've got a nice shape of that tree there. Don't need too much of this. bit in there. Right, clean that brush, and I'll get my small Frank Clark rigger and just a bit of this. Look, because you've got to justify what you put in, so I'm just adding all these twigs. But not too many of them. Right, okay, now we've got to put a little bit of detail in around the base of these trees. We'll just do that, a bit of umber or a bit of sienna, bit of palette grey, that's just. Right, now I'm going to use my little mop brush for this. Tiny little mop brush, just a bit of that bluey grey. I will have this one. I need to anchor that into some grass. See that what it does? It justifies all. Oh, a bit strong there. Just a little bit of shadow from those bits of grass sticking through. Just using a bit of grey from the palette, not. So now we're sort of, we've got the shadows coming from this direction now. I've left this quite plain, but I might just put a little bit of detail in there. Shall I? That's very, very faint. Right, now I said I was going to put a little bit of detail in there. I'll just have to dry that first though. So headphones off or mute your sound. I might even darken those shadows a little bit in there where the base of the tree, but I want to get this warmer colour. See, just a little bit. can put a little bit of sienna on there, I think. The base of that trunk on the left. Let's see what it does. Just a little bit of light there. Have I forgotten anything? Yeah, a bit of gouache. I'll just squeeze some out if I can find it. There we are. Probably better using a bit of acrylic white, because this will sort of, it does tend to dry in. But let's get a little bit in there. I've got a Caran d'Ache pencil that I keep forgetting to use. My mate Smoothie77, brilliant draftsman, shows how to do more detailed work than I can do. Right, we don't really want much more than that, just a little bit to show. Right, I'm not going to do more than that, I don't think. I'm going to sign it, put a mount on it. Put the bird in though. Okay. Right, put the mount on and then we'll pull back a bit. So there we are. So to show the snow, I mean, I'm not very good at it because I don't do enough of it, but you put in some of the grasses showing through and bracken and stuff because of the warmer colour. But then you put a shadow, and I've put the grasses on the previous light wash, and I've left a lot unpainted apart from the raw sienna original wash, but I've put some more shadow underneath all this, and it gives the shape of the ground rather than just a flat area. I think we could probably just let's do something in here. It's a bit of a rogue bit of grass there. You can always put a bit of fencing or something in just to make it a bit interesting. I've dotted the trees there. I think that's quite a reasonable painting. Let's just lift up a bit so you can see all of it. Where are we? Oops. Okay, there you are, YouTubers. I've got quite a few snow scenes on my Etsy shop now. Put them all with free postage and package, and if you want to support me, you can go on Patreon. Got loads of videos on there, and just have a look. See, get familiar with it, and just have a look. But it's not compulsory. I think what I should do though, what is compulsory, is just to thicken up that a little bit. That's bit of rogue there. That's got a bit of dark. It might show up a bit better. There's a bit of a clash of contrast there, or lack of it. It's just a see how it soaks in, look. Right, okay, well that's about it. It's a demonstration after all. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I'll get this uploaded now. See you soon. Bye bye.